Food for thought. Let your yeses mean yes and your no's mean no. There will be many great opportunities for you that will come into your life for a reason, and you should say yes. But there will also be things that are also as great, if not sometimes even better, but part of you wants to say no because something in your gut is telling you no. And so say no. Because there are so many things waiting for you. Because when you say no, that's just allowing yourself to have another different opportunity and another door open for you. By saying yes, it's also opening up a door for you to have that experience that could potentially change you. Having a yes or no answer, there will not be a right or wrong answer. But there will be one that will fit you and that you know will fit you. Because this is not a sign to say yes, and this is not a sign to say no. This is not the point of the video, but it's the point of helping you to try to find clarity. Because I was listening excuse me, one of the podcasts, I know I listen to a bunch of podcasts, but she was like, I say yes to the things I 110% want to go to, but I say no to the things that I'm iffy about, that I'm like, yes, I will go. Out of burden, out of, not resentment, but out of the feeling of obligation and needing to go. Because I love this video. Sorry, I'm like referring to a bunch of things. But I saw this video on TikTok and it said, time. Time is the most precious value of life. Everybody has it, but not everybody has it. Or no. Everybody wants it, but not everybody has it. That's where I was gonna go. Let me just re-say that. Time, the most precious value. Everybody wants it, but not everybody has it. There are so many things that we need to devote our time to, that they are so important to give our time to. Yes, we should devote our time to our friends and family. Yes, we should devote our time to our passions. Yes, job, school, other obligations. But with the little time that we do have left, we should keep it and use it sparingly because it's precious. There are so many things that we could be filled with, that could fill our time with, that we could put our time into, that could absolutely be beneficial, but that could also be not as beneficial. Not necessarily detrimental, because that's kind of like extreme, but I feel like there are things that will serve us, things that will fulfill us, things that we will help in, that will allow us to feel enjoyment, and then things that are there for pleasure, and then things that are there that just do not serve us. All these categories can be taken with a grain of salt. Some are more useful and are more helpful for the future, while some are things that help us feel and be alive and be more than just survive. But it's up to us to say yes to the things. This is kind of subjective, but I think that we should say yes to the things that will challenge us and serve us in the long term. And when it's necessary, say yes to the things that we want to do now. But then also being aware of what we're going through and what we need to prepare for, and to say no to the things that are distractions. Because it's really easy to become distracted by the things around us and we want to say yes to everything. But how does that really make us feel? Yes, I want to go to this, and this. But am I going to be running around with my chicken Am I going to be running around with, like a chicken with its head cut off? That's the question. Are you doing this deed, this responsibility, this opportunity out of the feeling of obligation? Or do you want it? Has this been the thing that you've been working for? And if so, then say yes. Wholeheartedly say yes if you want it. But if you don't want it, but some of you does want it, ask yourself, what is making me want to say no? Because let your yeses mean yes, but your no's mean no. It's so important because saying no to an opportunity will allow you to have more free time. Plain and simple. But saying yes will also give you the opportunity to try that thing that you said no to before, to like free up that space. Not to say this is the perfect black and white answer, but rather this is just clarity, I hope. Sorry. I hope you can kind of have a better understanding of what you want, what you want to do, how you feel, what your intuition is telling you. Because some people might say that they do not have an intuition, that they are just going through life aimlessly. And that is very true. But I also think it's very true that the heart is not fully open to that. That it's like, not that the heart's not willing. The heart is very willing to listen to the intuition. But I think just the person needs silence in their life to hear their feeling, to hear that guidance. I don't know how other people hear it, but I feel like it in like my torso, like in my stomach, that I should go do something or I shouldn't go do something. Or I don't know, earlier today I was sitting and I had this feeling that I should leave. I should leave right now. Because I was like contemplating going to see a teacher for like some test help. And I was just sitting there and my stomach was like, go. Like I had this feeling, like I was thinking about it. And then it was like this feeling in my like torso and in my stomach that I should go. And it ended up working out great. I went, saw them, got some test help, and it worked out. And it was good and it was great. And it worked out because I listened to my intuition and I was listening to my gut. Sometimes things, I'm learning this still, some things are not rational. Sometimes things are not black and white. Sometimes things are not yes and no's. But sometimes you are forced to make a hard decision. And hard decisions come with, honestly, I feel like great thinking about, like, reflection, contemplation, like just thinking over and over, or maybe not obsessively. I'm still trying to work on that too. I'm not trying to overthink. But to simply sit on it a little. And then like once your brain starts going around and around and around, ask yourself, did you go in a round and around situation and end up in the same spot? Because if you did, there's nothing else that you can do. My dad told me that. We were having a conversation, I think it was about school or something, about like what I wanted to do after school. And I was like, I don't know what I want to do after school, blah, 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 blah. I was going around and around and around in a circle. And he's like, or I was like, there's no more point, or there's not a point anymore of talking about this, because I ended up in the same situation. I ended up in the same circle. And sometimes that's how it is. You have to put things to rest, and you have to put your mind at ease. And yes, it's hard. It is extremely hard to get out of your head. But once you learn the things that help you get out of your head, you can find that way out. Once you get out once, the second time's a little easier. And then the third time. And then the 100th time is a lot easier than the 5th time. And that's okay. We have so many opportunities, you and I, to practice. We have the practice and the time. We have the time to practice saying yes and no. We are not going to be perfect at saying yes and no. We might say yes to the wrong thing. We might say no to the wrong thing. We might say no to probably the best thing that could have happened to us. but it wasn't meant for us. Or I should say, we might have said no to the best thing currently that we thought of that was supposed to be the best for us, but could have turned out to be the worst. Like, some situations, like, some people are like, I'm so glad I said no to this when I thought it was the best thing in the world, because then I would have, I don't know, the person I would have become. Everything works out how it's supposed to. Literally, my ethics teacher, she said, she was like grinding at her job. She was a corporate woman. She worked her way up the corporate ladder. And in 2008, 2009, like, the finances, everything happened, and she changed her mind. She went into a different direction. And that could have been, at the time, the worst thing that could have happened. Yes, it was not a yes or no decision, but I'm using it as an example, as sometimes the worst things that could, in the moment, happen turn out to be the best thing, because she said that it was probably the best thing that has happened to her, because she no longer needed to work that hard. From the standpoint, or from the perspective of, it was what was best for her in the long run. She literally said that. She was like, I'm so glad that I got out of that job, because she was working like crazy. And so it's okay. It's okay that you don't know if you should say yes or no. Sleep on it. Pray about it. Be open to it. Do whatever you want. Listen to your intuition. Whatever you do to find clarity, find it. You don't need to meditate for thousands of, or an hour or something. You could literally just be open for 5 minutes every day, or until the decision needs to be made. But just be open. Be kind. Be kind to yourself when you're making decisions. Hindsight is 20/20, but you are here now, and it's 2025. You're here now, but you are just making the best decisions with the best things and the best knowledge that you have. And it's okay. You're going to be fine. And you're going to do great. And whatever happens, happens. And tomorrow will come. The sun will rise and the sun will set. And the moon will rise. The moon won't sun. The moon will rise and the moon will set. And stars will come about in between. And you will live. And you will be fine. And you will be better than okay. Because you are here now. Regardless of what decision that you've made, you will make, and you have made. Food for thought.